coming up on The Golden Key.
Look, Peter, that's your great-great-uncle, if I have that right.
Next thing I knew, I was watching the ground spin towards me. Never been so scared in all my life.
You're gonna turn me into your army? I'm an American, you know. The enemy. Stay back now.
Yes. What can I do for you? Oh, it's Peter.
Mr. Robinson, I didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I volunteer here at the Historical Society a few times a week. Keeps me out of trouble when I'm not being newspaper editor, you know?
I'm actually here for a research project. I'm working on something for school.
Now, you're homeschooled, right?
Yeah, I am. But I have an assignment I thought I could finish up by coming here.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, with Veterans Day coming up, I'm supposed to write a report about a veteran from our town here. You know, a local person. We've been studying World War I this fall, so...
Oh, so you want to write about a local person who served in the First World War, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if I can. I don't know what the museum has and that sort of thing.
Well, you came to the right place. Let's go take a look in the archives. Here, follow me. This way.
Oh, great. Thanks, Mr. Robinson.
Okay, let's see. We have several personal recollections from local folks who fought in World War I. You know, Peter, that was the first war where modern methods of warfare were used. Airplanes, gas, machine guns. It was a terrible, terrible war. Millions died. It was more death in one conflict than in most wars in history. They called it the Great War. Since World War II hadn't happened yet, of course, the war to end all wars, said President Wilson back then.
Yeah, I was reading about some of that. It's crazy.
Okay, let's see. Oh, here's one for you.
What is it?
Well, what do you know? Look, Peter, that's your great-great-uncle, if I have that right.
Who?
Well, his name was Elias O'Brien, born in 1899. I happen to know he's related to you. Did your grandfather ever talk about an Uncle Eli?
Wait. Yeah, he did. My grandpa did talk about an uncle who fought in World War I. I have to admit, I didn't pay much attention to it.
Well, maybe that's because you didn't have the story.
What story, Mr. Robinson?
The story of your Uncle Eli, from his own mouth, about the war. Does that interest you at all?
What is it?
It's this.
Okay, what is it?
You mean you don't play all your favorite songs on one of these? It's a reel-to-reel tape. Not quite a digital file, you know?
That's huge.
Yeah, it has 2 reels on it and a magnetic-based tape that was used to record audio. This was long before digital, including CDs. Even before cassette tapes that came along when I was a kid. No, this is 1960s or 70s tech, Peter.
But can we actually listen to it?
Believe it or not, yes. We actually have a reel-to-reel converter in the museum here. I'm a little surprised this hasn't been converted. I bet it's been sitting here since it was donated.
Well, when was that?
Let me see. Okay. Served in 1918. Worked here in town all his life. Died 1984. Yeah, I bet this came to us after he died. What do you know? It says here, Mr. O'Brien's personal account of his experience serving in World War I. Looks like his uniform and mess kit were donated too after he died, by his children. I doubt many people have listened to this. Want to give it a shot?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, I think I have it all set up. And I'm going to be recording this straight to digital as we listen, you know? So we can have it in case the tape breaks. Which it could, as old as it is. You ready to hear it?
Sure, I'm taking notes here.
All right. Here we go.
Am I rolling? Oh, okay, I think so. This is Elias O'Brien, age 85. Recording this so someone hears it all. I didn't want to talk much about the Great War. I think most of us just wanted to go back to living. After all the terrible things we saw, the kind of way we waged war, well, it wasn't pretty. Especially to see what happened after battle. I mean, truth is, we spend an awful lot of time sitting around the trenches, or in my case, the airfields, bored like. We played cards, told stories, swapped pictures of our best gal back home. Mine was Elizabeth. Always was her. I wound up marrying her, Anyone who cares to listen probably already knows that much. She was the best, sweetest partner any man ever had. I miss her, She's been gone a few years now. I expect I'll be seeing her before too much longer. Land sakes, do I miss that woman. Anyway, we mostly just sat around waiting for assignments. Those of us who could fly a plane, well, we had to fly against the Huns, the Germans, we called them Huns, but boy, when them battles came, they trained us not to just fly, but to shoot from our planes. It wasn't like years later. It was just me and a plane, hand on the trigger, not a big bomber. In those days, just me and my small plane. Well, truth be told, I didn't do much of what led them to call us the Knights of the Air. I wish I could say I did. I served on the ground for a little while before. I saw some pretty terrible things. Even now, what's the use of describing it? Horrible injuries. So much death. I thought maybe fighting from the air would be better, so my first mission, well, it was cold. Autumn cold, I wound up flying into German territory. I got into a firefight with a Hun plane. Bullets was flying. I won't lie to you, I was scared. I could see this man's face, and I knew it was him or me. So we fired and flew and swooped and fired, and next thing I knew, I was watching the ground spin towards me. Never been so scared in all my life. I must have been falling just a matter of seconds, but it seemed like forever. I was one of the lucky ones. I saw this tree coming towards me, and then I felt branches and leaves whipping my face and neck, and such a crashing. Well, I was knocked out, stone cold unconscious. I woke up on the ground. Nice, soft grass at least. I figure I must have been hanging from the plane, and finally my harness gave way and I just fell to the ground. Lucky I wasn't that high up then. My plane was hanging, nose down above me in the tree, and I was pretty banged up. I didn't know it then, but I had a broken arm. Lots of cuts and bruises. I saw blood all down my shoulder to my chest and felt dizzy and pretty sick. But I knew I had to get out of there, either be killed or taken prisoner, so picked myself up and started hobbling out of there best I could. I walked and walked, feeling more and more sick and weak. I could tell I had a fever coming on, and the blood seemed to keep flowing. I didn't really know how long I walked, but I realized I was near a little village. Well, that was both good and scary news. At least here I might get some water and treatment for some of my wounds, but it was a German village. I didn't know what they'd do with an American pilot limping into their little village, but what else could I do? So I hobbled on into their village. Not many people was around that part of town. I could hear voices across the way, like a lot of people was busy preparing for something, so I tried to stay out of sight. But as I wound my way between the houses and little dirt or cobblestone streets, I looked up, and there was a little village church. Well, now, I had stopped in many little village parish from my time in the awful war to pray, to find some solace and comfort in a dark and frightening time and place. A lot of us did. They say there's no atheists in foxholes, if you know what I mean. A foxhole like a trench in that big war. We didn't have the luxury of trying to sound too smart to believe in a God who made us and loved us. We were face to face with death, day after day. So a lot of us would go visit in those little churches, and I saw one there. Even it was German, waiting for me with a glow in the presence of God himself, of peace, of comfort. So, well, I made my way in there, that dark, quiet, peaceful place, and tried to genuflect, in front of the Blessed Sacrament up there, and I just fell down. Too tired and hurt to go any further. I don't know how long I slept there on that church floor before I was awakened by a kindly voice, speaking English with a German accent.
Young man, wake up. Are you outside?
Oh, my aching head. Where am I?
You are at St. Martin's Church, in the village of...
In Germany? I'm in Germany? You're Hun. Stay back now.
I am a priest of God, my son. That first and foremost. A German second. And you are a child of God, in need of medicine, I think, and food.
You're gonna turn me into your army then? The soldiers. I'm an American, The enemy.
You are not my enemy, mister.
Name's O'Brien. Elias O'Brien.
I am Father Hans. I am the priest of this parish. How did you come to be here?
Well, my plane, it was shot down not too far from here. I guess anyway, I don't even know how far. I just wanted to find someplace safe, to rest.
You are safe here, my friend. If you will come with me, I will dress your wounds, give you food and water.
How do I know I can trust you? Maybe you'll turn me on or even kill me. You could probably get in trouble for housing one of the enemy here.
Perhaps so. I don't know. You are the first American to visit us here. I must consider what to do with you after I make sure you are well. Will you please come with me?
Oh. Okay, Father.
You are Catholic then?
Yeah, I am. At least, well, not much of a Catholic, but I try, as I'm able. I guess I could do better.
This way, my son. Here. Here is brandy. It will warm you up. And I will fetch you some water. And I was preparing soup for my dinner. With a little bread. Will that do for you?
Oh, that sounds great. As hungry as I am.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Father, very much. Father, I keep hearing people in the distance, like a crowd, like they're working or something. Is something happening this evening?
Of course. Yes, it's Martinmas. Well, actually the eve of Martinmas. The feast day is tomorrow, but we will celebrate tonight, our village.
Pardon me, Father, but what's Martinmas?
Do you mean you don't know?
Afraid not.
Why, it's the feast of St. Martin. It's a great festival here in Germany. Much of Europe, really. Not so much in America.
Not so much, though it sounds interesting. I don't know much about it.
Why, the St. Martin's goose is already being prepared. Do you not eat goose in America? For a big holiday in November?
Well, that reminds me a little bit of Thanksgiving. We eat turkey then.
Ah, yes. I think your turkey came to you from so many bringing the Martinmas goose to your country. I've heard it said anyway. The goose is a Martinmas tradition because St. Martin was hiding from the people who planned to make him a bishop. And the goose's honking gave away his hiding place. People also eat goose on another special day in Europe, Michaelmas.
I remember the Feast of St. Michael and all the angels, right? But why do all these feast day names end in Mass anyway? Like Michaelmas, Martinmas?
Ah, well. Here is your brandy. Drink slowly. Well, you celebrate Christmas in America, no? That is simply Christ's Mass. A high holy feast day. So we have Martinmas November 11th, Michaelmas September 29th, and another one I like in February, called Candlemas, which is another Christ-centered feast day, the feast of the presentation of Jesus in the temple. At Michaelmas, villages and towns in Europe have great feasting and holidays, since it is the time the harvest is gathered in and stored for winter. Martinmas is similar, a joyful autumn feast. We feast one last time on Martinmas, before we begin a long fast leading up to the Nativity or Christmastide. That waiting time is called Advent.
That one I definitely know.
Here, try the soup. It will help.
Father, why Martinmas? Must be for St. Martin, right? I sort of remember him. Was he a soldier too?
Why, yes, he was, Elias. He was Saint Martin of Tours, which is in France. He was called the Glory of Gaul, which is an early name for France, though he was actually born around 316 years after Jesus, in the country of Hungary. His father wanted Martin to be a soldier, and Martin didn't want to. But when the armed forces of Emperor Constantine pitched camp on the outskirts of the city of Pavia, he had to go join the army.
Officer, are you who I should speak to join the Emperor's army?
We're always glad to sign up new recruits. What is your name and how old are you?
I am called Martin, and I am 15 years old.
Where were you born?
At Sabaria, in Hungary.
Well, lad, you must be eager to put on Roman armor.
No, sir, my father is a soldier, stationed here in Pavia. He wants me to follow in his footsteps. But I would rather stay here and learn more about this new religion the Emperor favors.
A few months' service with Caesar's men will soon put those strange ideas out of his head.
It wasn't easy to be a Christian in the Roman army, but the officer thought the new recruit from Hungary, who is tall and handsome, would make a fine soldier.
Martin of Hungary. You're fit, Martin. Say goodbye to your parents. In the morning, the troops will leave for Gaul, and you will come with us.
Martin became a fine soldier, learning to throw the javelin well, to ride and use his sword like an expert. As though he didn't like military life, he did his best, taking time to pray and seek more knowledge of Christ wherever he could, and doing his best to enforce the law as he was assigned. One day the troops were entering the city gates. They passed a miserable, half-naked beggar crouched in the shelter of the wall.
Pity, poor beggar. Have pity on me, in God's name. Please, help me.
The old man held out his cup to the soldiers, but they thought only of the food and fires in the inns of Amiens, and passed him without a glance.
A good beggar, my purse is empty, but I cannot pass you by. Ah, this will do.
Ah, you've unsheathed your sword. Have pity on me and spare my life, soldier. Please.
I have no intention of taking your life, friend.
You're cutting in two ways, the very cloak from your shoulders.
Yes, my friend. I wish I could give you the whole thing, but I'm afraid that to do so would cause me much trouble with the general. But what was once one is now two. Here, let me wrap it about you. Perhaps it will afford you some measure of warmth.
Why bless you, good soldier. May God's blessings be upon you.
And you as well, my friend. Farewell.
That night, Martin lay down in his tent to sleep.
But who are... Such beauty, so much light, and the glorious music, and such splendor, and that throne. Surely it must be the throne of God himself.
Indeed, Martin. Indeed it is.
That voice, I know that voice. Let me look closer, if indeed I can. But what you're wearing, that looks like my cloak. That's the voice of the beggar from earlier today in Amiens.
Martin, inasmuch as you have done it
To the least of these, you have done it unto me.
Then you are Jesus, the Christ, my Lord and my God. Morning. Then I dreamed, but more than a dream. I must go. I must be baptized. Today. I will journey quickly to the nearest town and seek a Christian priest. I know that truly the God I seek is to be found in Jesus Christ, and that he found me.
So Martin was baptized and became a Christian. But now warfare became even more a trial to him. The new Christian longed to give up soldiering. But for 2 more years he served in the Roman army. Then, on the eve of a great battle, Martin went to see his commander.
I want my discharge. I want to leave this army.
Ah, nothing but a filthy coward.
Strip me of my sword and shield and put me in the front lines with only a cross in my hands. I will lead men into battle. I will never take life again.
We have greater worries than your cowardice now. Get out of my sight.
Martin then wished to be a holy hermit, living a simple life alone and in prayer. He spent the next decade at a monastery. So the people of the town sought out Martin to be their bishop, but he refused until one night.
Father Martin! Father Martin! Forgive my waking you, but a visitor has journeyed to the monastery with a plea for your help.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Who seeks me?
It is, Rusticius.
The wealthy Rusticius from the city of Tours. Rusticius, forgive me. I did not know you were so near. I only meant...
To clarify which Rusticius your good monk here refers, I understand, Father Martin, but please, it is I who must ask your forgiveness for intruding upon you so late in the evening. I wouldn't do so if the matter were not grave.
Friend Rusticius, think nothing of it. What is the trouble? How may I help?
Father, it's my wife. I fear she is in her final hours. I would beg that you come. Pray for her, anoint her, and administer the last sacraments. Again, I beg your forgiveness, but I...
Rusticius, say no more. I will hear nothing of apology, and I am sorry for your grief, my friend. Let us hasten at once and waste no more time. Rusticius, what is this? Have you deceived me?
Martin, my deepest apologies. We have, so many of us, implored you to consider the bishopric. Virtually all of your diocese has pleaded and wishes most deeply for it to be so, and yet you refuse, falling back upon your famous humility. Oh, Martin, if this could not be the will of God, then surely what is?
Rusticius,
What? He's running away! After him! Stop him! He must be our bishop! It is the will of God!
Must get away from them. Find a place to hide. Yes. This barn. There will be many places to hide here.
He went this way. Find him.
There he is.
Where'd he go? No, it looks like him.
Barn. Search it.
Friends, wait! Listen! Look at that goose! Hear how it honks! Look! See the corner of that robe! I knew it somehow! Best thank God's goose over there. It's Martin!
Come on, Martin! Martin! Come on, Martin! Come on!
And so, Martin finally resigned himself to his calling, and was shortly consecrated Bishop of Tours. And you remember young Elias O'Brien. That cloak Martin tore in two and gave part to the beggar.
Well, yes, Father.
Well, that part was kept in an abbey in France, and carried by the king into battle during the Middle Ages, and oaths were sworn upon it, as a very holy relic. A priest caring for it was called a capellano. Eventually, any priest who served in the military was called a capellani. That is where you get your English word chaplain.
Oh, you mean like Father Frank in our outfit. He's an Italian, though. I mean, Brooklyn Italian.
In fact, any church built to hold the relic took the name of the Little Cloak, or chapel. Of course, that name applies to many other churches today. Here in Germany, we say, Saint Martin comes riding on a white horse when winter is starting out snowy and cold, since Martinmas is usually considered a signal of the start of winter. It's a joyous holiday for us, as you're about to see for yourself.
What? Oh boy, Father, there's a whole crowd coming to church, and out on the street too, it looks like out the window. Oh, would you look at that? A whole procession of children with paper lanterns. And there's a man who looks like a bishop riding on a white horse ahead of them.
That's Saint Martin himself, of course. Or someone dressed as him. It's all part of the Martinmas fun, my friend. Listen, the children are singing songs about him.
I see he's throwing candy to them, and people are bringing food for a big feast. It looks like so much fun, Father. I wish I was a little kid here, all excited and not fighting this horrible war.
Elias, come. Here's clean, dry clothing for you. Come with me to the village and enjoy the feast. This is a night we look forward to all year. May it be one for you as well.
But Father, will they mistreat me? I'm an American, I'm the enemy.
You're a child of God once again, my son. They will welcome you as just such a one. Come with me. Come.
And they did. Late into the night, we feasted and sang and danced and celebrated good St. Martin. I slept in that next morning, and when Father Hans came to wake me up, I was afraid the Huns had come to take me away as a prisoner of war, or worse.
Father, what will they do to me? Can you promise me asylum here? I'm scared, Father.
You have no more need to fear, my son. The war is over.
What? Over? What do you mean?
They signed the armistice this morning, just a bit ago at 11 in the morning, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the year of our Lord 1918. The war is ended, Elias O'Brien. There is peace at last on this feast of St. Martin.
We've celebrated that day as Veterans Day in our country ever since, and few days mean more to me. Not just for the coming of the peace-ending World War I, but for the feast of my favorite saint, Martin of Tours, too. I wish I could celebrate again in that little village. I never made it back there, but I always tried to keep Martinmas in our little town with my lovely Elizabeth and our own children. And I'll keep it here till I can keep it up in heaven someday and thank Father Hans for all he did for me that night in that little war-weary village in Germany. Well, I see my time's about up on this here tape. I don't know if anyone will ever hear it, but if you do, say a prayer for me and remember me on Martinmas.
How did we not know that was here all along? What do you think, Peter? Got enough for your report from all that?
I sure think so, Mr. Robinson. And here it is, almost St. Martin's Day for us too. Thanks for everything.